So the mayor's argument is most called into the question by which of the following? What is the mayor's argument? The mayor's argument is that since downtown Roscoe Lake is a major tourist destination on weekends, it must be the tourists who are littering. The evidence for this is that the Monday after the 4th of July weekend, there was twice as much trash in the streets and parks as usual. So there was a ton of littering on the 4th of July weekend, and since tourists come on weekends, it must be tourists who littered. We need to call that conclusion into question. A, usually community volunteers go through downtown on Monday mornings picking up litter. That doesn't call into question the idea that it was tourists. So we need something saying, you know what, it probably wasn't tourists. That's how we would call it into question. B, there is a correlation between tourist traffic and incidents of vandalism in many towns. So this says that tourists are trouble. That's what we want to not be true. C, during other weekends in July, there were no unusual amounts of litter. And at first glance, this one may not sound promising, but since the mayor's argument is that since it's a major tourist destination on weekends, it must be the tourists who littered on the 4th of July weekend. But if they didn't since in the other weekends, which also would have been major tourist things because they come on weekends, not just the 4th of July weekend, on other tourist times there were no unusual amounts of litter. So if it's tourists doing the littering, he has 3 weekends in the month of July where they didn't litter as opposed to 1 where he claims they did. So this definitely calls into question his conclusion that it must be tourists because the tourists come on weekends. He has other weekends where they didn't do anything like that to contradict him. So, choice C.